welcome to Mind, Body, Spirit. Today, we're going to focus on the brain and how to take a deep daily intention into our daily life and to be able to keep our priority of our inner connection while taking care of all of our responsibilities on the outside. So let's start by waking up this inner awareness, love, light in our brain. And first, we'll just start by tapping. So when I tap, which some of you have done with me before, for me, I was doing it outside this morning just to kind of wake up my brain. You always have to feel sensitive to you, like the speed, the quality of the tap, what feels appropriate for you in that moment. So when I was outside this morning training and the sun was starting to shine, I was just gently tapping kind of like by my eyebrows, I guess, and my hands were covering my eyes. And you can do this as I speak. What I was feeling was like the tapping was exaggerating. My eyes were closed, like the sun, the light, and I was allowing it to overtake the inside of my brain. Like part of my brain feels a little underslept, so tired, and which creates like a heaviness or a tension in part of my brain. So when I was doing this, all I was concentrating on was feeling that light overtake my brain. So there wasn't the heaviness or the tiredness. And I was just allowing myself to connect to that light and to identify with it and not identify with my story or tiredness or anything like that. So see if you can do that for a moment. And again, your experience is your experience. It doesn't matter if it's more powerful than what I'm saying or you don't experience it at all. Just having the intention of, wow, I'm going to be quiet and gently tap my eyebrows and my hand covering my eyes if that feels okay for you. And just getting a sense of the difference in your hands over your eyes when it comes away between it gets darker and lighter, right? So just kind of like a little bit of a flashing, like a flashlight you're turning on and off, and it's just lighting up your brain. Okay, now I want to focus on a brain meditation that I've been doing recently that just feels really great to me right now, and I hope it does for you as well. So as I breathe into my brain, I'm really letting myself have my breath be filled up with that inner smile. So kind of like the light that we just did, but the inner smile. So it's as I breathe in, it's an inner smile breath going into my brain. And then as I breathe out, it's a deep rest into the inner smile. So at your own speed, you gently, lightly, slowly breathe in very light, crisp inner air, smile to your brain into that light that we just lit up. And as you breathe out, you just feel a deep letting go and resting into that inner smile. So again, your own timing, but having your concentration be in your brain, the center of your brain, or wherever feels right for you. And as you breathe in softly, lightly into your brain, you're breathing in an inner smile breath. And as you breathe out, just deeply let go and rest into that inner smile. So I'll be quiet for about a minute and just continue this inner smile breath going into your brain. And the inhale and the exhale is a deep letting go and rest into the inner smile. It feels so good just to let go and rest. And you're resting something into the authentic you, something stronger than our worries, our anxieties, our stress, our goals. It's just a deep rest. So any time of day or night, this meditation I find extremely helpful. It's in this moment my favorite brain meditation. And I love all of them, but I feel like that the light and then using the inner smile and the rest is just such a settling into our true essence, because we have anxieties and worries and all these things, but they're not as strong as resting into the inner smile. And we may not always know that, because if we are the sun and the clouds block the sun seemingly, we may believe that we're the clouds, which may represent anxiety, depression, worrying, feeling out of control, feeling hopeless, helpless, being consumed by our desires and goals, whatever it may be. The clouds get very dark sometimes, or very bright, or whatever it may be, and we forget. And so being able to start your day, but any time of the day or night, we remember, it's amazing. But right now I'm looking at, say, the start of our day. If we can just take a moment, or as long as it's right for you, first to say, hey, I want to connect to the deepest beauty in me, and remind myself to have that intention to carry this throughout my day. So it may just be a breath and the remembrance, maybe tapping and doing the inner smile, rest, breath. Maybe any of the meditations we do, maybe nature, whatever it is for you in that moment, for that day, to help remind and activate that connection. And then most of us, not everyone, and it's not better or worse, whichever category you fall into, many of us have very full days where if we had a list of everything we needed to accomplish or want to accomplish in our lives, we would never accomplish it in the day, probably. And even our little daily tasks for home, work, family, whatever, we don't usually do, just because there's a lot of things we would like to do, maybe, or need to do, or people want us to do, whatever it is. So how do we keep that inner intention connection, and then organize our day and do things on the outside that are challenging, that are complex, that are mentally, physically, emotionally stressful, challenging? And how do we keep a priority of those things? So there's many ways of organizing our outer life, but I think it's important to be able to have some reference point of, okay, what are my most important things that I need to do today? Or what is the most important thing I need to do right now? And chunking it. What are the steps? What are 3 steps that I need to do to accomplish this thing in the next hour? What's the first step? And just trying to have that structure on some level, so we actually build that momentum and confidence and ability to do those things on the outside, while trying to come from that reference point of living from our essence, our inner strength, our spirit, our river. So you can take a moment now, but then maybe later, of just seeing for you in your day, how could you have these internal reminders throughout the day of, hey, am I resting into my inner smile, and putting that reference point into action with whatever I need to do? And how do I check in to make sure I'm staying on task with what are the priorities that I feel are most important for now or for today or for something I'm trying to accomplish in the near future or long-term future, and make sure I have those big chunks and then break big chunks to little chunks, just so we feel again that we have a clear path, so we're not scrambled in our brain, which is very easy to do. So today I want to use the Tai Chi form, which some of you may know, but as far as I know, I don't think you do. And for me, the reason I want to do it is I'll give you some clear principles that I'm working on within the form at my current understanding, and then go over some of the moves of the form. And most likely, it'll feel kind of confusing and hard to follow online without like an interaction between us. And so I'm intentionally doing that because I want you to say, okay, right now my goal is to stay connected to my river. And my goal is to try to conceptually, but also physically understand some of Tai Chi or the Tai Chi form, and not letting overwhelm or distraction or whatever take away from that goal. Okay, so let's remember the inner smile, inhale, and exhale, resting, just staying with that breath in a gentle, smooth way. Right now, we chose to prioritize our goal to be to work on this Tai Chi form, and to at least maybe your goal, everyone's different. Maybe your goal is I want to understand one fundamental thing and practice that, or I want to memorize the first 2 moves, whatever it is. Just if the bigger goal is we're going to learn the Tai Chi Yang style short form, but today we're just going to cover maybe the first, whatever it is, 4 moves out of the 24. How do I, within that, even try to get one move or one understanding? Because all the moves are probably too much, and I'm intentionally doing that. All right, so using your breathing, your awareness, and your powerful body, just finding your way to your feet if you're not already there. I'll start facing you, but then when we get moving, I'll give you my back, which may be easier for you. So Tai Chi, just like Sistema, like many things, meditation, there's so many layers to the onion. I don't know how many years I've been doing this regularly now for, and I regularly feel like, oh, wow, I'm starting to understand a little bit of it. So let's just start from the beginning. The feeling inside your body is the posture we often work on, that feeling of power and water and just this fullness, but not tension. So we're going to start with our feet together for a moment and feel that. First, open your feet up, so the bottom open up, like it's wanting to hear something from your feet, like your ears are opening up, and then let your feet relax down into the floor, like the roots are going into the earth. And then as I feel like I'm pushing my feet, like my shin bones and my feet kind of into the earth. And as I do that, and I try to do that for my hips, and my hips gently turn outward, which drops my tailbone down. I'm not forcing it, just a natural pushing down and opening of the hips like this a little bit. And that drops my tailbone down, which helps my lower body and my lower back be in the best position. Then, like from my rib cage going up through my head, there's a lift. So we have this lift to the heavens and this sinking to the earth happening at the same time. And then feel the power, the earth, the heavens, and then it going from your heart down through your shoulders, arms, and hands. So there's a fullness. To exaggerate it, it would be like a lot of tension. So there's like a lengthening, a stretching, an opening. So we want to have this much opening and fullness, but not that much tension. So try to have that feeling of full power, the heavens and the earth flowing through you. And so you just have this feeling of full. So this is the feeling that we want to have in Tai Chi from my perspective. And there's moments like a wave where it goes in and out and things like that, but it's this overall quality. So before we go into the actual sequence of the moves, I want to show you a few things that I find very helpful. Sensei Jean, my friend, was showing me some of this in Tai Chi. And so when I first learned, say, the basic stance where you have one leg in front and it's bent, and the leg and back, and it's bent. It's somewhat natural, but more weight on the front leg. And you'll see variations of this in karate and also in Tai Chi. Some people go really deep. But the feeling is my center, my whole body, my power is moving as one unit. And so if I move this unit onto one leg, so I'm going to shift my center, I'm not pushing off my leg to move, which I've done many years in karate and different martial arts, including Tai Chi. I incorrectly did that. Or if I just kind of like make myself go, it's different. The feeling I want to have, let's shift back for a moment and bring our center to our back leg. So I'm moving back, my weight's over this leg. So if my body, everything here, like this leg is empty. So everything, this leg, all through my torso, my head, my arms, my hands, my fingers, if everything was full and powerful, and it was like water, and if I bend this leg, this knee, everything would just naturally pour in to this leg and empty this leg. So the feeling is, as this bends, this natural pouring happens. So I'm not pushing off this leg. As I bend this leg, bending my knee, just softening, this natural movement happens. So just for a moment, see if you can feel that and make it a meditation. So I'm breathing in, inner smile, breathing out, resting, or bend my knee. And try to feel that density move into this leg. It's full, this other leg is empty. And my inner smile. You can go on the inhale or exhale, whatever feels right. Just be mindful of your breath. Bending the knee whenever the time is right for you, and the density moves. So that's the feeling to me that I'm trying to bring to the whole thing. Now, I wasn't being mindful of my fullness in that moment, my upper body. So fullness, I bend my back knee now. My whole body is powerful and full. It's just that my front leg is empty. So we're going to move across the floor a little bit doing that, and then we'll put the upper body into it. So there's a pattern and sequence of Tai Chi moves. So I'm going to put one leg out. And now instead of just going back and forth like I'm doing, we want to travel across the floor, which we do in the sequence. So it's like walking, but instead of me just peeling my foot off, shifting my weight and walking, we shift our weight from one leg to the other before we move. So right now my weight's in my front leg. I want to take a step. But what I first do is I let the density come to my back leg by bending my back knee. And then I gently turn that power, like the steering wheel is turning all the power a little bit toward my leg it's in front. And then when I put my front foot down and I bend that knee, the density goes into that leg. When it moves back, you can see me. And now my back leg is empty. I take my back leg, I put my heel down. As I bend that knee and bring my foot down, the density shifts to that leg. So now I'm in this bow stance. In karate, we call it a forward stance, but in Tai Chi, I believe it's a bow stance, and my front leg loaded. If I want to move, we don't in Tai Chi just pick up our leg and go. We shift back, load our back leg. We shift the density like a steering wheel toward our front foot. We're going to bring the front foot and knee, which creates the shifting of the density to this leg, and this back leg is empty. Last time, I step. I'm going to bend this knee, bringing my foot down. Density shifts. Now I know I want to take a step with my right foot. So first I bring the density back to my right leg. I turn my hips a little bit toward the front foot to prepare to step. I shift, bend the front knee, the density shifts to the front leg. My back leg is empty. So remember right now, the goal is we're staying with our inner smile and are resting into it while we're taking on a challenge of our outer goal of learning this Tai Chi form and learning some fundamentals, which we just learned, the overall feeling of the density in your body, the fullness, to me, this way, this body quality, it reminds me of Sistema. There's a feeling in your body that's very meditative. It's very, very spiritual to me, because you don't feel the heaviness of your body, the pain or the aches. Excuse me. It's much more, you feel like you're a powerful wave or powerful river, and it just feels so good. So that's our goal. And this very directly carries into our day overall goal. The goal right now is learning this Tai Chi form. So I'm just trying to apply it to our day. How do we stay in what we're doing, who we want to be, that inner smile, our spirit, while we're doing the complexities of the day. And the Tai Chi form is representing that now. So when we do some moves that we're going to do in a moment, try to focus on the power of your body and don't be as concerned with the upper arms. You'll get them. So the opening of the Tai Chi form, I'll do it facing you, and then I'll turn after for other parts. The way you start the form is your feet together, and you do like we did before. You feel that power into the earth, feet, lower legs, upper legs, and then the hips gently turning outward. So pushing into the earth, there's this like roots going deep into the earth. It drops your tailbone by turning out your hips a little bit. And then you start feeling this lift, 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 power through your body. From this position, you bend your right knee, and then your left leg goes out. I'll turn around, so I'll be doing the correct way for you. So that this would be your left leg. It's empty. And then as I bend my left leg, density shifts to that, and just kind of like this balance between the two. In general, in the Tai Chi form, one leg is loaded, one leg is empty. Right now, they're together just in the opening of the form. Feel this power coming from the earth up through your feet, just having that intention. You may actually feel that. I don't feel it in that way currently, but I'm sure some people do. But I just feel this intention, this earth power coming up through my body, through the lower dantian, up to my body, and it raises my wrists. And in Tai Chi, one thing I forgot to say, your intention and your breath lead the movement. So my intention is the power is coming through my body, and it's going to raise my wrist up. My intention and my breathing, excuse me, is going to drop my wrists. So that's the opening. Now you stay the way you are looking at me. I'm going to give you my back now to go into the next move. We shift, we bend our right knee and shift our weight to our right. Our left foot comes in, our left hand's on bottom, so there's a ball. This position, we don't want to make our body in weird angles with our arms. Keep them like you always want to try to have this and not crossing center line as much as we can, have this power feeling. So my left hand's on bottom, my right hand's on top, my weight is loaded in my right leg. My right heel goes out. Now forget your upper body for a moment. Remember what we did already. Your left knee bends and the power shifts forward. So once again, bend your back leg. We just landed in this position. Our right leg is loaded, our left leg is empty. We bend our left leg and the power goes into our left leg. For this movement, it's called parting wild horse's mane. Like you're parting a wild horse's mane. What's happening is, if you see like my upper back part of my body, it would be as if I was up against your body as far as the martial component. And I'm going to be knocking you or my partner down, pushing against their upper body with my back. So it's here, and then I shift the weight to my left foot and I'm pushing back that way. So going toward you, you can see it. And I came from here to here, this goes out, and I feel the power and density. That's called parting a wild horse's mane. And there's fullness and power through your whole body. There's not this tension, but the intensity, I'm going to show you with tension, it's like everything's powerful and engaged and full, but it's more internal, creating space for the water and energy to flow. So that's called parting wild horse's mane. And we do 3 of those in a row. And just like we did before, when we did the shifting our weight when we wanted to walk forward, we shifted back, we turned our hips, we shifted forward and brought the leg in. It's the same movement with our legs. It's just we're doing 3 parting wild horses mane. So let's start from the beginning and we'll do all 3 of them. It's only the first time of the day when you start the form where you usually start like this, but you can, sure, if you want to do it more, but the feeling is you go into that feeling like, okay, I'm ready with fullness. So you can do it from your feet apart as well. Open my feet, pushing into the earth, my lower legs, my upper legs, opening my hips to drop my tailbone, and then a lift and power through my hands. As I breathe in, I have the intention of power going through my body, lifting my wrists up. Before my wrists drop, I have the intention in my brain. So you're connecting body, mind, spirit, breath all together. The wrist drop. The power goes through my body, but my awareness stays up. Now I'm going to, I like to shift away to my left leg for a moment so I can turn my right foot in a little bit to prepare to go that way. Now I shift the weight to my right leg. I bring my left leg in. My left leg is empty. My left hand's on bottom, making like a ball. My right hand's facing downward. My left hand's facing upward. My left heel goes out. As I slowly bend my left leg and shift my weight, I'm parting wild horse's mane. And the idea is we're trying to have our breath and our movement kind of finish at the same time. But if you finish the movement before you finish your breath, just change your breath from in to out or out to in. So now, number 2, like we did before, I'm going to bend from my back leg to shift the power to my back leg. And then like we did before, I turn my hips. So I'm ready to step forward. Now my right hand comes underneath. And as my back foot comes in, my right foot comes in, my right hand's on bottom. My right foot is empty still. My right foot goes out, which was my back foot before, steps forward. And now I'm going to shift, I'm going to bend my right leg, and that's going to shift my weight forward as I part. So it'll be like I'm knocking the wall down from here, parting wild horse's mane. Number 2, there's a fullness, power. Now I want to do one more, so I need to bend my back leg to shift the density to my back leg. That allows me to turn steering wheel of my hips so my front foot turns a little bit. And now I shift the weight, bend my front knee, my right leg, and I shift the weight forward, the density as my left hand and foot come in. My left hand is on bottom. My left foot is empty. The heel goes out. And this is the 3rd parting wild horse's mane. I bend my left leg, my front leg, and the density shifts forward as I'm having the intention to, as if I'm knocking something down with my upper back. So that is parting wild horse's mane 3 times. So we did opening and parting wild horse's mane. Let's do that one more time. And then, as I say this, see if you can keep your brain clean as far as like that inner smile, inhale, the resting exhale, and just having good, simple expectations of taking what you're getting from this. So we'll do it one more time, and then we'll just go through the whole first passage, which just adds one more move 3 times and then 2 individual moves. But I don't expect you to memorize it. I just want you to try to follow along, just to challenge your brain not to feel overwhelmed and just do what you can do. Or to feel overwhelmed and not identify with it if it comes up. So we're starting the opening, feet into the earth, connecting roots, lower legs, upper legs into the earth, tail, the hips turn outward a little bit, upper legs to drop the tailbone. What I mean by that, if I let my legs go inward, my tailbone comes up, my hand represents it a little bit. As I push into the earth and let my hips turn out a little bit, it drops downward. So I have this downward connection to the earth, my roots, and then lifting up, 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 up through the head, and power going through the shoulders, arms, and hands. Fullness. Have the intention and your breath. You lifts your wrist up. The intention in the breath drops your wrists just a little bit. I'm going to shift my intention to my left leg, my density, so I can turn my right foot in a little bit. It makes it easier for me to step. Shift to my right leg. I open my left knee, my left heel goes out, it's empty. And as I shift, the intention is to have power come through my whole body, but focusing on my upper body, knocking something down. I'm just giving you that intention with that feeling so you see the direction of the energy, if you will, but you don't have to think about knocking someone down. All right, that's parting walls, horse's mane number 1. My intention is still outward, and even though I knock down, I'm full and ready. Now I bend my back leg, which is my right leg. The density goes into that leg, so I can turn my hips toward my front foot. And then I shift, I bend my front leg, my left leg, the density shifts. My right hand and foot come in, my right leg is empty. It's nothing, no weight on it, in it. Put my right heel out, and then I'm going to bend my right leg, and that's going to shift my density. And remember, I'm opening up this way, but coming from the lower dantian. So I shift. And one more. So I bend my back leg to bring the density back. Turn my hips toward my front leg. I bend my front leg, allowing my back leg to be empty. My back leg to my left leg, and my hand come in, empty. My left hand's underneath. My left heel goes out. I shift. Parting wild horse's mane number 3. Next move, it's called white crane spreads its wings. So I shift my weight all the way forward. My back leg was halfway in. I shift my weight back to my right leg, and I just turn inward a little bit toward my center. And then my right arm comes up and out. So it's this big, open, full feeling. Some people have their hand go outward, some have it go down. But there's power through your hands, through your head. Earth in your feet, your left leg is empty. It's called white crane spreads its wings. Now, from here, don't try to move your arms alone without your body doing it. So my intention is to twist my power to my left a little bit. My whole power is one unit. My intention is to switch the power to the right of my body. So I'm twisting, and I switch my hands. My left hand comes up as if I'm moving my body to block something, if you will. And then I'm going to, my right arm goes out. I'm looking toward my right hand. My left hand's coming down and through as if I'm about to block something, if you will. My left foot goes out. And as I bend my left leg, the density shifts. My left hand is blocking. My right hand is pushing. It's called brush, knee, and push. So as I come toward you, brush, knee, and push. Again, it's a very full, powerful feeling, but not tight. So we're going to do 3 of these, just like we did before with the Tai Chi walking. Before I take a step, I shift my weight backwards by bending my back leg. I turn my hips like a steering wheel in the direction of my front leg as preparation to step. I bend my front leg to shift the density there. So now I'm standing on my left leg. My right leg is empty. I bring it forward, and as I'm doing that, my right hand becomes the blocking hand. My left hand, which I'm looking at, becomes the striking hand or the pushing hand. And I shift like this fullness, this density into brush, knee, and push number 2. And then one more. So I'm going to bend my back leg, my left leg, so the density can shift. I turn my hips, steering wheel toward my front leg, prepare to step. I bend the front leg so the density switches. My left leg is empty, it comes in. My left hand becomes the blocking hand. My right hand I'm looking at becomes the striking hand. Brush, knee, and push. I'm bending that front leg, density number 3. So fullness, power. Last move. We shift our weight forward, our back weight leg comes halfway in, it's empty. I shift my weight backwards. As I open my power to the right a little bit, and then I turn it back in on my left heel. So it's like a ready stance. My power and energy through my hands, my arms, but not tense. It's not this, but it could be that without the tension, that full. The bottom hand could be pointed toward lower dantian. Up top hand's ready, open. You're aware, full, present. Weights on your right leg, your back leg, left leg is empty. All right, so that's the first passage of the Tai Chi form. This comes from the Yang style, Yang family. There's a long form, which I don't know as far as the sequence, and there's a short form, the 24. You can find it on YouTube or anywhere, just look up short form or Yang style 24. My understanding is the most practiced form in the world as far as all martial arts. And it was very difficult for me to mentally connect to the Tai Chi form for a long time. And then one day, or a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, and then one summer when some of the other guys at work, I remember Sensei Doug saying he was trying to get in Sensei Devin, and I was like, I should just do this thing and commit to it. And so I did. And I'm really glad because it's helped me so much with Tai Chi, with Sistema, with all my martial arts, with all my movement as a movement artist, and with life, just feeling so much freer and healthier in my body. So what we do in this class is we do a lot of the fundamentals to how to nurture this quality in our body, mind, and spirit, and how to integrate in our day. And then there are things like the Tai Chi form or Sistema or dance or yoga or different mediums that can also support that. They don't always, if they're not practiced with that awareness and intention, they could easily feed stress, tension, bad movement habits, and I've done all those. So I really recommend whatever we do, you, me, us, to try to do it as clear as we can with what we're trying to accomplish, so we're not creating tons of bad habits, which you can change, but in my experience, it's often a longer path, but it's also a very valid path. Okay, so let's recap today. We started with the tapping to stimulate light in our brain, so we're not identified feeling heavy or whatever it may be, worried, anxious, whatever's our tendencies or what we're feeling today, possibly, just to bring some other perspective to it. And then we did the inhale, inner smile breath, exhale, resting into that inner smile, which I find to be a very delightful, is the word that comes to mind, meditation. So simple and clean and powerful. And then we said, okay, pretend this is the beginning of our day. This is how I want to live my life. This is how I want to spend my day. This is what I want to remember today. This is my priority. All right, so then how do I do that? How do I actually accomplish that? I have to remind myself throughout the day and start the day with that. When I forget, come back. When I remember that I forgot, come back. And then, okay, on the outside, what are my priorities? What are my goals, long-term, short-term, medium-term, whatever it is? But for today, or for right now, or for this morning, whatever it is, whatever time chunk is right for you, what is my priority and what are those steps? What am I going to do? So we used the Tai Chi form. I did that very intentionally because I think it's a great form, but the main reason I did it was because I know it's not easy to follow along. And if I was doing it for me, following you, it'd be hard for me. I'd get kind of confused and I'd space out probably and all that. And so I'm trying to use this as a goal. Okay, I'm following you on when you're doing your form. How do I keep coming back to remembering my inner goal and then my outer goal and staying on task? And that to me is the way that we create a beautiful moment, a beautiful hour, a beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful month, a beautiful year, a beautiful life, over and over again of practices like this, the inner and the outer. And the more I do, for a long time, I focused more on the inner, and I would highly recommend that over focusing on the outer. And it brings so much joy and fulfillment. And then there's one point in my life, which I'm balancing out more now, where I didn't feel like I was fulfilling what felt right for me on the outside as well. So then I started making some shifts, and I'm still working on that because it's easy for me to have so many things that I want to do and not to get, like I'm saying now, what's my goal? How do I break it down? What do I do now? And this balance of, number one, coming from your essence, your spirit, and remembering as much as we can, because that's the best place to function from, operate from. Number two, being clear on my visions, my goals, whatever I'm trying to accomplish and prioritize, and staying on task. Okay, I hope this was internally fulfilling and also practical, how to carry, how to live, the inner and the outer of the dance. Okay, thank you so much.